are conducting your final project in a group, which is pretty awesome. And there's a few things I'd like to kind of inform you about that. The first is to make sure that we're all on the same page about what the expectations are. And second is to make sure that you actually want to be in a group. We took a little survey last time to check to see who wanted to work with others as opposed to on their own. If you have changed your mind, if you either want to work in a group but aren't already, or if you want to work on your own based on the group that you received, I want you to tell me ASAP. I want to tell you a little story about a friend of mine. My friend Tim was a friend of mine in college who is a programmer and a software developer. And he got a job as coding, was part of his job after he graduated from college, with a company in Virginia. But he had to work with people on this coding program that he was working on, with I believe it was with a major healthcare providers like Blue Cross Blue Shield or something, or insurance company. This big program that they were using to manage tons of people's health insurance data. And all of those people were in Atlanta, Georgia. So he had to go through and work on a large project with people who were 500 miles away. And I asked him a little bit about what that experience was like. And he said, it's not that bad once you get into the rhythm in it. In fact, I think more and more as time goes on, people are going to have to be working on projects like this from afar. And it's really good skill to be able to have. Thank you so much for picking and agreeing to work in a group. And I actually think it's a really valuable skill that you can learn if you can work together and break up the tasks that you have to take on as you go through this. You should have checked the Excel file on the IQ page at this point to see who's within your group. And I want to start out before I talk about what today and what the future looks like, just give you a few pieces of advice. You're going to have a little bit of extra time for group assignments. You'll have till 2 days after the assignment date at, to be able to get your work in. So this first assignment is due as Friday at 5 p.m. Reach out early anyway. Contact your group members. Tell them what you think. Um, I would also specify tasks as to what you're going to do, which will be part of the first email that you send today. For each day, address who's going to work on what. Make a list of what that's going to look like so that when you try to put your code and your pieces together, you'll be able to communicate well about what that's like. Another recommendation I make is getting each other's numbers early so you can text each other to see if somebody's not responding, exactly what's going on with them. And you can also FaceTime them if you really want to talk through a problem and code at the same time. And if you're unable to get a hold of your group member, the first thing I'd like you to do is email me. That should be your first line of attack. If they're not responding, you need to get in contact. If you can't, call me and we'll make sure that it looks good. Earlier on this semester, we tried to do some email threads where people participated in discussions. That went okay. There were a lot of students who weren't participating. You're going to have an email thread that you're going to continue responding to all of your messages for your group. And it's really, really, really important that everybody is involved with that and does that. I expect responses for everyone. Um, Basically, every class period that we have, you should send out at least one email to notify exactly what's going on. Today, if you check your email, you should have an email from me addressed to all of your group members. And your goal is to message each other to try to select the problem that you're going to try to solve together. Come up with what problem you're going to solve. You may use one of your COVID assignments and extend it if you want to from within the group, or you can make a problem that's totally separate from all of those. And next week, between Monday and Thursday, you need to choose a time to meet over Google Meet on the office hours timer that I have, um, because we're going to have at least one in-person check-in with everyone in your group, and I need you to email each other to decide when that will be and what time it is so that I can come and join and listen in for a couple of minutes. Please remember to reply all on these emails so that all of your group members and I will get the information. And the last requirement that you're going to have is on Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. At the end of class, you're going to respond to this email thread. And you're going to tell your classmates what you've done. So there'll be reminders for this of the expectation each time. But this is a good little starting point for what we're going to get to today. You'll start by selecting your problem. Once you finished up that group assignment together, your final design project goals that you've shared with one another, then you can email each other and explain what you've got done so far. Here are some overall expectations for the project. Everybody should be contributing to programming. At the end of the project, I'm going to look at each project and ask you guys who did what. What I suggest is one person creates a CodePen and shares their login info, and then you can all log in and edit the same document. But one thing to keep in mind is that only one person can edit at a time. If you're both trying to like edit code and one of you saves before the other somewhere, it'll delete what the other person is doing. So what I would do is keep in contact or shoot an email that says I'm working on the project now. If you want to FaceTime me or call in, we can talk about it while I code. But if not, please wait until I'm done to go in and try it out. All are eventually going to contribute to your presentation. You'll create a Zoom call and record you all talking over it so that you can explain how it works. I'll have some instructions on how to do that next week or in our last week of class. You'll post your CodePen to the Google Classroom starting Monday of next week so that I can also edit and update what you're looking at. And if you want to change your mind about working with other people, I'd like you to email me right now because I need to have that information ASAP in order to pull that off. So some things to work on today are to respond to that email that you got and provide the information at hand. Please let me know if there's anything that you need or if any of my instructions are unclear. And I'm really excited for how this is going to work because when you put a couple of heads together like this, you seem to get pretty good and awesome results. We had some really extensive projects left. Good luck.